This is something I've been watching myself for a little while. Hi, Lexar. Hi, Elder. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Okay, today we're going to be talking about just something that is a massive explosion going on right now. I don't know if you have been watching cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, what's been happening in the market in the last month or so, really. It's been skyrocketing, right? And a lot of people are thinking it's a bubble. But so right now, Bitcoin has just passed, last night it passed $50,000 per Bitcoin. Hey, Mike, good to see you. And so this is, it's a major move in the market. So what is going on with this? I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I know. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. But I can tell you what I see and what I look at and what I've been doing. Okay. So I felt like I missed out on that whole crypto wave back in it happened a couple years ago, I guess. So I just kind of wasn't really paying attention. But then during COVID, there was a massive drop in the market in March of last year. When the stock market tanked, crypto tanked with it briefly. Hey, Autumn, good to see you. So when the stock market tanked in March of last year, the crypto tanked, the price dropped, and it enabled more people to get in to it. So I bought a little bit then at that time, not as much as I wish I bought. But what's happening right now? So why do I feel like, and since then it's been steadily going up. So it reclaimed what it was like back to around 6,000, went up to 11. And it's kind of been dancing in that area. And now it's just been going straight up. So what are some of the reasons that this has been happening that we can see? First, to understand, I'm not going to get into like too much here, but I will say I'm going to be teaching an actual class on this in my Financial Ninjas group. So that's going to be coming up this Thursday. So if you're not a member of Financial Ninjas, then please request to join. It's a Facebook group on my Facebook, Financial Ninjas. Mike is saying, isn't the stock market being pumped up by the Fed? Yes, I would say it probably is. So like what we're looking at right now with like stock market prices, real estate prices, etc., right? They're really getting blown up by the Fed and all the stimulus package that we're having in the US. What's going on with crypto is a bit different though. So we want to understand what that difference is. And I'm going to explain to you more about what crypto is because I think it's really complicated for most people to understand. I feel like you're buying coins, but that's not really what you're buying. So I'm going to be teaching the class on it in Financial Ninjas on Thursday. So if you want to be there, jump in and make sure you're in there. Make sure you're in the class on Thursday. But right now, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what's happening. So crypto is, especially Bitcoin in particular, has become sort of the foundation currency for crypto and the platform. And there's a set amount. So what happens when there's only a set amount? There's only 21 million coins that will ever be made. They made that decision when they first created the currency. It was a way of giving it value, right? So there's a set amount, and so the supply is limited. What's been happening right now that has been making the price shoot up is that for a long time, it was just sort of people who were in the know, people on the advanced guard that were buying in. About a week or two ago, Tesla and Elon Musk put $1.5 billion into crypto. Massive market fluctuation, right? Because if I have more demand, I'm buying more, right? Then there is supply, the price is going to shoot up. Okay. So not only did Tesla put in $1.5 billion, right? $1.5 billion into a cryptocurrency. Also, other major banks are starting to allow themselves to invest in it, right? So big banks, big hedge funds have been doing it for a while, but they're getting more and more confident about moving into specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrencies. So what is that doing? Before, we had a lot of people who maybe did have a lot of money, but they were putting it in. Now we're talking about, entities with billions of dollars doing it. So if they have a demand for it, that price is shooting up. And what happens with that? They're not going to, once it has so much money in it, it just can't drop that low anymore. You see, because the demand is already in there. So of course it is going to dive. It is going to drop down because it has to drop down. This is the thing. People can't get more people to adopt unless it has drops. See? So this is a very volatile, it's a very volatile thing. And you have to understand that about crypto. It's not something that just holds value. It's not like, so if you want to put any money into crypto, for me, I only put money into crypto that I don't need and that I know I'm not going to need for quite a long time. But the potential for what's happening right now, people are saying it could go to $100,000 by the end of the year. And eventually it could become more of like the back-end currency or the bank of this whole new market and industry. So it's a major shift that's happening in the whole financial system. And I think I talked a little bit about it previously. So Mike is saying there that all the usual suspects are going into crypto. And so a lot of the big banks and stuff like that, now they're trying to get into it. I mean, they are coming a little later to the game, but they are trying to get into it because they don't want to miss it. They don't want to miss this massive shift in adoption and shift of our whole kind of economic system that's happening. So one of the things I spoke about before was what it's interesting to look at astrology, not for like your day-to-day, like what am I supposed to do today stuff, but when you're looking at macro, like world trends, then it becomes very, very interesting to look at astrology and how that affects these macro world trends. And I saw a really good webinar on YouTube, and maybe I'll post the link if you want me to post the link to it, but she's describing these macro world trends of money in astrology and these big shifts that are happening. So everybody's known that there's a massive shift that's happening right now. Like literally, this is the shift. And it's not too late. It's not too late. You haven't missed it because this massive adoption is still happening. It's still on the rise. And we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about the specifics of it in my Facebook group. I'm doing a webinar on Thursday. I'll get more into the details about it. Okay. So the details about what's going on, not just astrologically, what's going on in the economic system, what's going on sort of in the history of these monetary systems and what we're seeing, what we're projected to see in the future and why it's not going back to the way it was. Okay. There's some very specific fundamentals of why it's not going to go back to the way it was. And that is the stuff that you really have to get and understand of how the economy is changing. We've all seen this huge, huge shift that happened over COVID, right? So over COVID, all of the late adopters, all of the people who were not online, they've all learned to do online banking. They've all learned to put all their stuff where? On the internet, into the air. Everything is streaming by airwaves, by internet, right? By electricity. It's not physical stuff anymore, right? We're not using physical money. They're literally trying to wipe out physical currency. If you go to the bank and you try to give them a bunch of cash, they don't want it. They won't accept it. They're trying to wipe it out. They will give you cash because they want to get it out, but they don't want you to give it back to them, okay? So you need to understand there's a massive move away from cash that's been happening for years. COVID just accelerated it. And this new era, I guess, of history that began, that really, I mean, it's been, that transformation has been happening, and that happened over that whole year of COVID, December 21st, pushing it into the next, this next whole era of the world, of economic systems, banking systems, political systems, etc. So this is going to be a very transformational few years here. And you need to be really paying attention and know what is going on. You do not want to miss this boat. You haven't missed it yet, but you don't want to miss it. Okay. So, and just so you know, with any time you put money into cryptocurrency, there is going to be really significant valleys and peaks. Okay. So that's why I say, it's the same thing I say about stocks or anything like that. You only put money in there that you're not going to need for a few years at least, right? You put money in there you don't need for years, because this is a long-term investment. I'm not talking about playing the market. I'm not talking about doing short-term buy and sell and this and that like that, right? The way I see it is that it's, when I put money in there, I make sure it's money I don't need to touch for years. And then as more and more people adopt it, I expect it's going to drop off, and then it'll go back higher, and it'll drop off and it'll go back higher, because you have to have market drops to get more people to buy in. And they purposely do it that way. Okay. So just because they want people to adopt it more. The more people get on, the stronger the platform becomes, the more people are able to start using it, right? The more currencies, all that stuff. So we're going to get into that on the webinar. We'll talk more about that. And I will see you all there if you come and join Financial Ninjas. Okay? All right. You guys have a beautiful day. And, don't forget to really go in and look at this stuff. Start watching videos on it. Start researching it. This is a major transformation in the history of the world, and you want to know what's going on. Okay? All right.